Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, they all played significant minutes in Saturday's win against the Warriors. Russell finished with 15 points, led the team with 6 assists. Pretty impressive from the Los Angeles Lakers. And then another player that was traded was Mike Conley. He moved to the T-Wolves. He played on Friday, had 9 points, 3 assists in 26 minutes, but Minnesota did lose to the Grizzlies. And then last, but certainly not least, Mike Muscala. A little under the radar acquisitions here by the Celtics, but he's off to a great start with his new team. He's got 6 3-pointers through 2 games with Boston. He's shooting 46% from deep, which is pretty impressive. So back here with Chene, Tristan, Vince, Mark, we saw some impressive performances from players on their new teams. But Mark, if you had to choose just one that made the biggest impact, who would you say?
I'm going with Mikal Bridges. The Suns, they did not want to trade him, and I wonder if they would have offered him in the offseason for Kevin, if it could have got done then. Monty, for anybody listening, their head coach, Monty Williams, been raving about this guy, how great he is. And he's also the most durable player in the league. He hasn't missed a game his whole career. Bridges averaged 19 in January, he's 23 so far. Was a good replacement when Book was out offensively, and he's wearing number 1. I don't know why, but he's going to be number 1 with the Nets. Show he's an all-star caliber player. He isn't a backflips, exciting kind of player, but he's going to get the job done in Brooklyn.
And I'm going to also say Mikal Bridges as well as Cam Johnson as well. And I think a lot of people are saying, oh, the Nets and what's going to happen with this team. But remember, Jacque Vaughn gets his guys to play extremely hard, and he has defensive guys. Bridges, Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, on top of what they already have there, they have guys that defend. And they had 7 steals last night. Bridges and Cam Johnson had 5 of those 7. So the future is bright. They don't have a superstar, but I really like what Mikal Bridges and what those guys bring to the table.
What do you think, Tristan?
I'm saying the Lakers. Yes, Lakers fans, you guys fell short, didn't get Kyrie Irving, but it's okay. You got a bunch of 4 really, really good role players. You got D'Angelo Russell, mind you, who's an all-star with the Nets. You got Rui Hachimura, who's a great insurance policy if Anthony Davis is hurt, because you know he's facing a few injuries. Jared Vanderbilt, this is the guy I'm excited about. His energy off the bench, his being able to guard 1 through 5, make those plays. It reminds me of myself. When you want to be on a championship team, you got to have guys that do the little things. And Jared Vanderbilt's that guy. And then Malik Beasley, sharp shooter, guard both ends. I think the Lakers, they got younger, great role players, and this is what their team needs. Of course, Kyrie Irving is beautiful, but having these guys is going to help them a lot.
Chene, you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think on this?
Oh, I love that segue. So another under-the-radar pick to me is Josh Hart. And Josh Hart was really impressive because when you think about the Nova boys being able to reunite, this might fly under the radar, his stats, typically. But what gets you wins? 11 points, a guy that gets you 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. He is a guy that fills up the stat sheet. So, Tristan, when we talk about guys that do the little things, this is a Knicks team that literally looks like they're poising to actually make a real playoff run. Not where it's like, oh, you're exceeding expectations. No, everyone's playing better around Brunson, who, you know, they had time with Villanova winning a championship, but then also, you know, Julius Randle as well. So they rounded things out very well in a small way that will actually be really big for them come the long run.
I like that. That's kind of how I look at the trade deadline. Who is the team that has a championship aspirations that are realistic, that maybe makes a move around the outside that could help push them and their depth over the top? And for me, that was the Boston Celtics and Mike Muscala. I already read off and shared with you his 3-point numbers, but I was sitting watching him play. Remember, he was on the Oklahoma City Thunder when OKC played LeBron, and LeBron broke the scoring record, and OKC won that game. And I'm sitting between someone from Boston and someone from LA. And Mike Muscala pulls up from 3, and I was like, oh, does he got it like that? And the OKC person goes, oh, yeah, he has. And the Lakers person says, well, he didn't play like that when he was with us. Like, this is a guy who has taken a step forward and could really be able to help this Boston Celtics team. It's been impressive.
Hey, that's a lottery right there. Going from that to this, like, I have a real chance to win a championship. Like, hello.
I'm pretty impressed.
I'm a line
I didn't even know he was going to get Mike Muscala get highlights like this. Good for you, Mike.
Mike Muscala, this is your show. We are brought to you by Mike Muscala. When we return, teams are not done adding players. We're going to take a look at the buyout market because where is Russell Westbrook going to play? We've got the latest.
The Suns pairing him with Devin Booker, Chris Paul.
This is seismic.
A lot of people are going to make that team the favorite to win it all.
This is going to be such a problem.
It's a Booker bonanza. Durant done with a purpose. You can't guard him one-on-one.
The balance of power.
worry about what people say. I just focus on me.
This is a sight that may take some getting used to. There he is, the newest member of the Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant, getting some shots up, working out with assistant coach Jarrett Jack today at practice. That's a scary, scary sight. The Suns did officially announce today that Kevin Durant will be out through the All-Star break. We'll get to hear from him at an introductory press conference on Thursday in Phoenix. But Ramona, it's been about 4 days.
Yeah.
So now that we've had some time to digest this, you had an incredible story with Brian Windhorst up, a TikTok, the timeline of how this trade came together. But now that we've had a little bit of distance from it, what stands out to you the most?
So I'll never forget where I was Wednesday night when Woj broke the trade. That it was outside the Mavericks locker room. Kyrie Irving was about to do his press conference, and everybody just went, whoa. Yeah. I can't believe, like, the Nets had messaged to the rest of the league that they were not trading Kevin Durant, that they had done the trade for Kyrie Irving to return players to surround Durant with, okay? So they were putting out that message. We're happy keeping Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a guy that we're trying to build around and try to keep him there. Now, what we learned in reporting this is that Kevin Durant had very quietly had a conversation with Sean Marks and Joseph Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets, on Monday. He said, you know, look, there's just a fatigue factor to all of this, that everything is, you know, everything everyone's been through. And Kevin said, I'll play this out. He'll try to get excited about the players that were there. But they were having a very honest conversation. He said, you know, I'd like to go to Phoenix. And the only way this was going to work is if it stayed quiet, is if the rest of the league did not know that they were going to, were open to ideas for Kevin Durant. He didn't want a big public spectacle like we saw last June. Yep. And so that stayed incredibly quiet, save for one story that Adrian Wojnarowski wrote on Tuesday. And I don't know if all of us appreciated the complexity of the talks then, but Monday afternoon, Joe Tsai is at his home in San Diego, finds out, does a FaceTime with Kevin Durant, and learns of this, calls Matt Ishbia, and the two owners have a conversation all week long that it was just a private negotiation between the two owners all week long. The fact that a trade of this magnitude, and you know there's all these other teams around the league that are going.
Would have jumped if they knew that Kevin Durant was available.
That is the one that I'm going to remember for a long time because of the sliding doors aspect of this. Yeah. How many other teams would have bid on Kevin Durant if they'd known he was really available? But was he available? And in writing the story, I thought about what was the Nets' leverage here? If he really only wanted to go to one team, what was their leverage? It was the exclusivity. That they were negotiating with one team that right now, just like in real estate when a realtor says, I got a pocket listing, if you're interested in this house, you better make a bid right now. Otherwise, it's going on the MLS.
And this is what we want. And that was so interesting in your reporting that initially some of the players that we saw being traded, the Suns did not even want to give up. But that was the Nets' leverage.
They played in Brooklyn on Tuesday night. The Phoenix Suns. Mikal Bridges with an audition on Tuesday night. And at that point, I think the trade was quiet because Phoenix was not ready to meet that asking price yet.
So fascinating. For anyone who hasn't read your story, I encourage them in the next commercial break to head to ESPN.com because it is truly fantastic. So we're still waiting to see the debut of Kevin Durant, but we did have some notable players debut over the weekend. So let's start with the Nets and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson coming over